Hey, everybody, welcome to the Great CEO Podcast. I have another great CEO for us to dig in and talk to. I have Margaret Rogers from Pariveda with me, and we're going to learn a lot about her and her company. Welcome, Margaret.
Glad to be here.
That's fabulous. Hey, so maybe we just start with tell us a little bit about yourself and your company and what you guys do.
Absolutely. So, Pariveda Solutions, we are a strategy and technology consulting services company. Our strategy includes everything from people, branding, and tech, and then we take those ideas to impact through implementation and maintenance.
Okay, interesting. Is there a particular market that you focus on? I know you're in the DC area. Is it government contractors or you will do anybody?
Yeah, no, we tend to lean more on private sector. We do a little bit of state and local government, and we're pretty broad in terms of industry verticals. However, we do have a high concentration of healthcare. We have a high concentration in the energy sector, oil and gas, et cetera.
Got it.
All over the place.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Given that there's 500 strategy consulting and advisory companies, how do you guys differentiate? What's your perfect client? Why your firm versus McKinsey, Bain, or more mid-market people that might be less expensive? Why you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great question. We get asked that all the time. And I think one of the things that's really unique is understanding about our origins and where we're from. Our founder, Bruce Valangy, thought about how consulting can be really different. And actually, the bigger challenge that we have is that there's a talent shortage, right? In a world where we have become conditioned to fast and furious, quick outcomes, we lose sight of as a long term as a society. And so long time ago, he started the firm and said, hey, I think there's a better way to develop talent and leadership. And where we really differentiate ourselves is not in all the marketing and the fancy words and things like that, but rather it's in the how. We really believe that people are at the center of what we do, which includes not only our employees, because we have to develop them and develop that talent properly, but also for our clients and our partners. And we actually think that and live the fact that our purpose is a win. We want it to be good for the planet. We want it to be good for our clients. We want it to be good for the people that we touch. And one of the biggest pieces that we talk about is how the way we deliver not only increases the skill sets of our people, but it's meant to increase the skill sets of our clients' people as well. Especially now, as everybody's talking about Gen AI, how do I upskill our talent? That's one of the things we do while we're delivering with alongside those client teams.
Got it. Okay. That's cool because I think a lot of consulting firms are trying to build dependency. You're actually trying to build autonomy in the
Yeah.
engagement. If we do this right, after a little bit, you won't really need us so much anymore, would be the move.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely the case. I do know that whenever there's people, there's a lot of problems. So we continue to have some things to do, but absolutely, that's basically who we are. We want to leave a place better than we found it.
And nature of the revenue is what proportion of it is recurring versus just project work? Do you have a base of recurring revenue in this, or is it project to project?
We do have some base revenue work. We've been growing our Prosper offering, which is a product first mentality on maintenance, meaning, hey, we're not just a playbook kind of maintenance team. What we're doing is we're trying to improve anybody's product by 1% year over year to basically hopefully minimize some of the problems that come up. And we measure that to show that there's actually time savings, cost savings associated with that. But I would say most of our work is project to project. We're probably about 25% recurring revenue right now.
Okay.
We're going to be moving that to higher, but we do a lot of project to project work.
Yeah, it's typical in consulting, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you may have already answered this, but what is the point of constraint in your business? If you could wave a magic wand and change one thing to make it a better, more repeatable, scalable business, what would that one thing be?
Yeah, I think when I think about the constraints, it's usually finding the right people who are aligned with it's talent, right? There's a talent scarcity. And what we found is we actually have a very unique way of developing talent. We have a whole framework, every single level, every single year. You know what you're accountable for. And what we found is because we're very holistic in how we develop people, when we go to interview people from the outside who come in, not at the entry level, they're usually needing to do some catch up. But, what I think about what is my role as a CEO is to make sure our people have the right environment to grow.
Yeah.
And we create that constructs for it. We have some things we do really well, and we just want to be continuously improving in that so that we're the destination for talent development.
Love it. I had one CEO we worked with in our CEO peer group business, and he said, companies don't grow, people do. And so very aligned with your strategy of invest in the people, and that'll help lift the boat.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So moving over to you, how many hours a week do you work nowadays, and how do you think about time allocation? Yeah, I know that's always a good question for a CEO. They go, all of them? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it feels like all the time. Their brain is always on.
yeah,
I probably average about 60 to 80 hours a week, especially right now. I'm sure every single CEO or many CEOs that you're talking to are around that range because of the volatility that's going on in the marketplace. And so, yeah, I'm about 60 to 80 hours. I spend a lot of time internally, of course, with our preparedness, our scenario planning. We do a lot of internal meetings. We have a very unique mentoring structure. So everybody in our company has a mentor, including myself. And so some of the time is spent on that. I also do a lot of things externally. Right now, more networking because I've been in this role for about 2 years now. I'm starting my third. So there's a lot of networking, client meetings, of course, and making sure the clients feel like we're serving them well. But then also moving to become a bigger spokesperson because I think one of our clients once said, they said, you're the best kept secret. And I was like, oh, no.
yeah.
That's
We
not
don't
what I
want to, that's not what I want to be.
So we want to spread the word and share our learnings on what's working well and what's not, especially when it comes to talent development. I do a lot of reading.
Yeah, no, readers are leaders, or leaders are readers. Pardon me, the other way around. So, as you scale your organization, we obviously have to shed some responsibilities. And you've been at it a little bit here. So, can you name one major responsibility that you've delegated to someone else in the last 6 months? Just take it off your plate, put it on someone else's plate?
Absolutely. I think you're 100% right. In terms of delegating, the big move I made this year was I have a chief commercials officer and a chief operating officer now. I ran a little flat the past 2 years, my first 2 years, because we were wanting to drive change really quickly. And so we just drove that through, but I knew that wasn't going to be the long-term sustainable path. And so I'm ecstatic to have our COO, Margaret Rogers, and our chief commercials officer, Stan Blazinski, help me out on the day-to-day details so that I can really focus on some of our long-term strategies.
No, that's great. That's perfect answer, actually. It's great. And then you're doing this for a couple of years. What would you say has evolved or central principles to your leadership style?
Yeah, I think authenticity is really huge. Being able to be yourself and speak truth with power. As you can imagine, professional services and roller coaster right now. And so you have to be able to deliver hard things that we're going through and also be able to deliver the things that you learned and the things that we're looking forward to. I think that other piece is what we talked about, like readers or leaders, like you have to keep learning. And I just think because the time expectation and the cycles are just going faster, you have to stay ahead. And so when people were asking me about whether we should use Gen AI in professional services, and there was back on for some people, and I said, look, at the end of the day, this is coming whether we like it or not. Out. And so what I want to be able to say is when somebody says, do you use it? I can say yes, and here's what I've learned from it. And so that learning is huge. And I also think learning from anybody is huge. I try to make myself available to anybody in my firm, and I learn from them too. They do remarkable things.
Boss. Last question. What do you do for fun?
I love the outdoors. I exercise as a job. That I'm part-time fitness instructor, believe it or not.
Wow.
And I love gardening. And we also have chickens. I used to have 9, and now I have 7. And we think some animal got to them or whatnot. But yeah, I do a little bit of that homesteading.
Wow, that's cool. You're ready for the apocalypse. You got your own chickens. You're good.
That's right. Protein. I can eat the grass. It's all good.
Perfect. Rod, this was fabulous, Margaret. I really appreciate it. If people wanted to get a hold of your organization or you, what's the best way?
Yeah, definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, and our website is www.parivedasolutions.com. Come see us and check us out.
Fabulous. Thanks again. And we'll see you next time on the Great CEO Podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.